Zachary's Ball by Matt Tavares. I had never been inside a ballpark until that day. Everything felt so close to me. The outfield fence, the players warming up, even the man who watered the field. I was so jealous of him because he got to walk on the same grass as Buck Spoonwell and all the other heroes my father talked about so often. I remember everybody clapping and hollering when Boston came up to bat. Hundreds of people in the bleachers chanted in unison, "Let's go Sox! Let's go Sox!" Buck Spoonwell was up first. "Hit a home run, Buck!" my father shouted. "Let's go, Buck!" I yelled as loud as I could. On the first pitch, Buck took a mighty swing, but he did not hit a home run. Instead, he popped the ball straight up into the sky. The crowd groaned. But then, suddenly, the wind picked up and carried the ball straight toward us. My father stood up. So did all the other grown-ups. I stood up too, even though I was too little to catch the ball. Once all the jumping and yelling stopped, my father sat down, and with a big smile, he held in front of me a beautiful white baseball. All of a sudden, I was no longer sitting with my father. I was standing on the pitcher's mound, dressed in a Red Sox uniform. "One more strike, kid, and we win," said Skip Johnson, the manager, as he handed me the ball and returned to the dugout. I looked at the catcher and crouched down behind the plate, waiting for my pitch. He gave me some sort of sign, but I didn't know what it meant. So I just reared back and threw the ball as hard as I could. The hitter swung as hard as he could, but the ball whizzed past him. "Strike 3! The Sox win." The catcher ran out to the mound to give me this game ball. As he handed it to me, suddenly I was back in the stands with my father. It seemed as though no time had passed. "Dad!" I exclaimed. "This ball is magic." My father smiled. "They're all magic," he said. I wrote my name on the baseball as soon as I got it home that day. That night, I took my ball to bed with me, and each night from then on, I dreamed about baseball. One night, I was standing in left field at Fenway Park when New York's best hitter blasted a deep fly ball right toward me. I ran as fast as I could and dove for it, feeling the smack of the ball in my glove as I skidded across the outfield grass. Another night, I struck out the final batter in the 7th game of the World Series. My teammates all ran out to the mound and held me above their shoulders while thousands of Red Sox fans stormed the field. Then, one day, I looked in my drawer where I usually kept my baseball, and it was gone. I looked all over my room for weeks. I looked everywhere, but it was nowhere to be found. A few months passed, and I finally gave up. I still dreamed of baseball, though, and every summer I spent my Saturday afternoons at the ballpark rooting for Boston. And always hoping that another ball might come my way. Years later, I was taking a walk in Boston down by the ballpark. The heat was unbearable. So I stopped to rest in a tiny spot of shade. I gazed up at the big wall in front of me, and I heard the sound of cheering fans from inside the ballpark. Just then, out of the sky came a glowing white baseball, a towering home run hit over the wall. I reached up and felt it fell gracefully in my outstretched hand. As I spun the dusty ball around, I saw 2 faded words written in a child's handwriting. Zachary's ball. Quickly, I tried to brush away the dust so I could read it more clearly. But as the dust vanished into the air, so did the words. Holding my new baseball, I thought back to the day when my father took me to my first game. I remembered the gift he had given me, and now I had caught a ball myself. I couldn't wait to tell him. As I turned to head home, I noticed a young girl holding her father's hand, and she was staring at my baseball. I placed the ball in her hands. A moment later, she exclaimed, "This ball is magic." "I know," I answered. "They're all magic." What do you dream about at night? Do you dream about playing baseball like Zachary? Or maybe you dream about playing basketball? Or maybe you're dreaming about being a teacher? Or maybe you're dreaming about being an engineer or a doctor or a veterinarian? Or maybe about being a scientist? Maybe Miss Garcia's video has inspired you to want to be a biologist. What are you dreaming about? I want to know. So tell me what you dream about. Either send me a message on Class Dojo, or send me a Gmail, or make a post on our Google Classroom. All of that is still open to you. Meanwhile, I am going to keep tossing the ball around when the weather's nice. Got to make sure my boys' arms stay nice and strong in case baseball season actually gets to open. Because they not only dream of playing Wildcat baseball, but Thomas would love to play for the Red Sox someday. But of course, you know his brother has to be the opposite. He would love to play for the Yankees someday. They both have dreams. And I hope you keep dreaming too, and keep learning. I'm going to keep dreaming about being back in the classroom, helping you be the best learner you can be. Remember, if we don't challenge our brains, we don't change our brains. So keep learning. I miss you. Can't wait to see you again. I look forward to your replies.